Hello, Mzansi. Welcome to it in what is a rather special time in football worldwide. Out in Germany, well, it's done and dusted in as far as the league race in England. It's done and dusted. And here in South Africa, well, it's a special time because we just had the derby to speak about last weekend. We also are looking at another Soweto derby, just following that in what is a time where we spoiled as football lovers. And I'm joined by a man who enjoyed those Soweto derbies, Shane McGregor. Let's firstly start by looking back before we look at the future, Shane. And for many, the entertainment level here was what the derby should be, but mostly because Kaizer Chiefs came to play and did play.
Yeah, especially the first half. And if you look at the derby and you know, you talk about the derbies and enjoyed it. So I used to enjoy it because we used to win the majority of that.
And score.
So unfortunately, it's not game Chiefs way. But yeah, as I say, entertainment-wise, it was a very good first half for both sides. You know, it was a good football. Entertainment was there. Once again, you know, Chiefs flattered to deceive again, unfortunately.
Well, let's firstly look at it from a fan's point of view. The game starts half an hour late because still, even with Chiefs struggles, the fans get there late and they pack out the stadium. So the atmosphere really sets the scene for many of us that turn out there. And then the different matchups on the day. There were so many different matchups on either side of the field that it made the derby extra special as well.
Yeah, it did. It made it very special, you know, and like you say, it started late, normal for South African football. But anyway, yeah, the matchups are good, you know. And when Chiefs went 1-0 up so early in the game, I thought, oh, here we go. It's a complete different side. They're going to be changing things. And even though they'd rested one or two players because of suspension problems and worried about getting suspended, they still look good value for money. Got on top of Pirates, look very good. Had Pirates on the back foot, but unfortunately didn't carry on with it. I mean, they got the goal early on. A very good goal, I must say.
And the Liverpool strike as well was terribly impressive. Yeah.
Something different. I mean, and he was impressive there. A very, very good goal. I think the keeper got caught by surprise because he didn't expect him to shoot. But anyway, a good goal. But then, you know, they allowed, and they had chances after that. That was the big problem. You know, if you don't score your chances, you're going to struggle.
You spoke of the key players that went there, Miguel, Tuba, but for Chiefs to still blow our minds like that in the manner in which they came out and played, the confidence, the style, as well as the swagger in the game, so completely unexpected. But then again, the game, when you start hitting Champions League level semi-finals and so on, it's about adjustments. Yeah. And Pirates were able to adjust the second half. That was a major difference. Yeah,
but that was the big difference. The Pirates could adjust to it. You know, they weren't expecting that, Pirates, and you could see that it was something that they had to get used to. But for Chiefs, leaving those players out, it was a vital decision. You know, obviously for them, they need to win some in the season. And I think that's why they rested those players. But, you know, they had the opportunity there to go further ahead. They had the opportunity to strike a blow early on against Pirates. And unfortunately, they didn't allow that. You know, they didn't do it. They didn't follow up. But end of the day, Pirates showed their true mettle and showed what a team they are and came back and got the result.
Pirates players, a lot of them, for GameON, who's grown immensely over the last season, Champions League, International as well, but a lot of them have played in the Champions League and Internationals. And is that the major difference here when the going gets tough between these two sides?
I think it is the difference between the two teams. You know, if you look at the way the Pirates adjusted and you look at the way they've been going, it is a big difference. They are a more settled team than Chiefs. Yep. If you see in the Chiefs team, there's been a lot of changes throughout the year, different teams playing, different players playing. So there have been a lot of changes. And if you looked at that team, I mean, the changes were 3-4 players, you know. But for Pirates, they've got a settled squad and they've been playing that and they're used to that. They're used to having to come back. They're used to the pressure, you know. Because of playing in Africa, it makes a big difference. Chiefs have got to start looking at that.
How special is it for just any football lover to enjoy a derby with that much quality, knowing the Nedbank Cup final is up next weekend, or this coming weekend, today maybe I should say, and again it's the same two sides. So great advert for South African football, but exciting times as well for football lovers, which reminds us why we need Chiefs to be doing well in South African football.
Yeah, we do, you know, and look at the crowd. I mean, you know, magnificent crowd. The finals, a sellout, was already a sellout early in the week. It's great for football, but we need Chiefs to kick on. Now for me is they tried their best. They didn't get the result. They got maybe 1 or 2, 3 players coming in. Brodie Cross is going to be suspended, unfortunately.
What do you make of that matchup between God and Cross? Because God was just going at him time and time again relentlessly.
Yeah, it's one of those things. You know? Yeah, it's one of those things. It's been the Chiefs' Achilles heel, down that left-hand side. And, if I was the Pirates manager, I'll be having a look and saying, let's target them down that left-hand side. But anyway, we'll see what happens. For me, for Chiefs, what's the motivation? They have to go out and win, and they have to get the trophy to say they've had a fairly good season. You can't say a good season, a fairly good season. And for Pirates, I mean, it's just a matter of getting over the line and getting the trophy.
Talk to me about both coaches now. We've heard in the past coaches saying playing the same side twice in such a short space of time is rather difficult, especially with the stakes of this high. Nabi, and then the Pirates coach on the other end, what are they going through at this time? And of course, the one coach is saying farewell to Islam.
Well, Rivera is obviously under a lot of pressure because he is going to be saying goodbye to the club. It looks like they're not going to win the league, but by all accounts, they're not going to have a chance of doing that. So for him, he wants to go off with a big bang and give Pirates the victory in the Nedbank Cup. For Nabi, it's a different pressure. It's a do or die. He's been put under pressure. There's been talk in the press, and you social media guys, you jump on the bandwagon. You jump on the bandwagon, and coach must get fired. This, that, not giving an opportunity. So for him, it's a must win. Simple as that. For him to keep his job and to go forward, he has to win this game. So for both coaches, different reasons. I have to ask you about the Moses Mapida Stadium. Durban fans, their love for the game, and how many great events we've had there over the years. Great way to end the season as far as the Nedbank Cup final? Yeah, you could take this game to any stadium in South Africa and it'll be full because of the two teams. My only worry has been with Moses Mabhida. I just hope the surface is good and that it's a good playing surface. They've had a lot of rain in KwaZulu-Natal. I'm not too sure what the field is looking like. I'm just hoping that it's good quality for a good quality cup final. We'll see later on today, and we'll have to take it from there.
Well, something to look forward to later on today when you consider the dream we had last week in the derby, and the dream that very well could be with both these sides looking to win the Nedbank Cup. So it's the most successful side against the second most successful side in the history of the Nedbank Cup. What a season it has been, and what a closing is turning out to be as well in as far as the 24-25 campaign. Stay with us, we'll be back with this, or we'll be back with more on the other side of this.
Want a bet?
You are on.
Breaking news. Gogo takes a prize challenge to a penalty shootout.
Aziz again.
Let's go.
Brian looks confident here. What? He's completely missed it. Here comes Gogo. And what a kick! She's done it! She's done the impossible! Hollywoodbets, Azisheke, let's play.
Welcome back to GameON. Now time to continue our focus on the beautifully South African game. And, well, Jerry Skosana usually joins us here in studio. He's, like many in South Africa this week, out in Durban. Looking forward to, firstly, the derby. And, Jerry, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Let's talk derby last week. What you saw, what impressed you, what didn't impress you. And talk derby today, the big game, the final, and how you see things panning out. But last week, though.
Thanks, Sizwe. Yeah, what an atmosphere that I had to experience last week. I mean, I had the different Kaizer Chiefs that I anticipated, in the first 15 to 20 minutes. I mean, the kind of football that they displayed against Orlando Pirates were nowhere to be found. That's why Chiefs scored an early goal. And I thought that would be a continuity. But unfortunately, I think maybe for me, judging from my own side, when I saw Chabalala starting to get on top of the ball, doing the skillful factor, as if they've already read the game. I think that's where it cost the match, because you look at the Orlando Pirates game, that's where the second time he tried to do that, he lost possession, and that was a straight counter to Nkota, and Pirates got the goal. But halftime, when I was asked a question, I said to the people, let's wait, I'll make a call to Rele Mofokeng, the president of AMA 2000. And jokingly so, when the game came back, it was a different Rele. He scored a goal. And I was with Brian Baloyi, but it was something good.
What were the changes that Pirates made that helped them overcome Chiefs, and what impressed you about them?
I think for me, when they started having Hotto to come back in the middle of the park and then having some fire, a power up front, you know, with the Mabasa, Tsekofatso Mabasa getting in, that was like a good effect for Ribeiro, because I think he did so. How Quinica was so robust on these youngsters, he nearly broke Kabelo Dlamini's leg after making a foul to a rally, but the referee just let go of that. But I think Ribeiro saw that, you know, I need Mabaso to go and stamp the authority of being a big guy, and don't let the Chiefs defense think they were there. So I think those changes made a big difference for Ribeiro to work for Pirates.
So we got part 2 happening later on today. You're already down in Durban. What are you expecting in this final? Are you expecting the same Chiefs to come out? Or are you expecting Pirates maybe to come out a little bit meaner early in this game?
I think for me, today is going to be a lesson which most of the Pirates players, if they are truly warriors in the field of play, to say we let go of this team that we thought they would be just a walk in the park in the first game, first derby that we played last week. So today, I think it's going to be a totally different Pirates in terms of the approach. And I hope that's how Pirates are going to get the better of Chiefs. But obviously, Chiefs have got that problem of saying, after so many years, they need this silverware. So for me tonight, like today, this moment, after this show of us, Mamela, already in the
but all roads lead to Durban this weekend. So when you're already in Durban, you've been there this whole week. You've been there this whole week. Tell us about the coaching clinics you've been having in Durban as well.
Yeah, I'm with Brian, and then we just doing the sports trust where we are with NetBank, trying to give some coaching clinics to the kids, the school, and the clubs. And this is something which, you know, for me, it's a good thing, because I always love to see the young future of the country being looked after. And this is exactly what we're doing with NetBank and Devon. And I'm looking forward to maybe another venture, because it was just an exciting week to be here with all these kids of different cultures here in Devon.
Well, we love it that those of you that gave so much to the game as players still contribute to the game in helping develop the South African game. Let's talk now, PSL, Pirates Sundowns. The big talk was whether they'll finish the season fighting right till the end. Is that league race done and dusted now, with Sundowns having done what they did during the week?
Well, I don't have to be biased, but I mean, if I'm a true footballer, true administrative footballer, I think Sundowns has already led the league. You know, it's not going to be easy for Pirates. Look at the games that are pending for them. It's not just going to be a walk in the park. It's going to be a different ride for them to go along. But let's hope it will come right. But yeah, I think for me, Sundowns are going to win the league.
When you look at the bottom of the table, the big races for position or to get away from position number 15, Magesi looks safe. But SuperSport United, Golden Arrows, Cape Town City, they're all fighting to avoid the playoffs. Would you have guessed any of those sides to be where they are now? And wow, this is a big shock as well?
Big shock, because if you look at these three teams, you always say these are the three teams that are always fighting to be in the top 8. I mean, Golden Arrows, they've been doing good. Look at all these years before. They won the MTN 8 by beating AX Cape Town at Orlando Stadium. I think it was 6 goals. And now you talk of SuperSport United. You talk of Cape Town City, all these teams played in the top 8 competitions. And now they are fighting there for to run away from the promotional relegation playoff. I think that's a disaster, but let's hope. I don't know. I don't know who's going to go there. But anybody who's going to go to the relegation promotional playoff is going to try and make sure that he fights his way back to the a land of honey.
Quickly, I must ask you, who's winning the finals here? Who's winning the German? Give me a name.
I would say we're going to go to extra time. And Pirates are going to win in penalties.
There you have it. Jusco Sandler says Pirates are going to win out in Durban. It's a big day out there in Durban, and well, big final, of course, in the way of the Nedbank Cup. And it's been a long time since we've had those two in the finals. And well, interesting in the way of the fight to avoid position number 15, the playoff position in this current PSL season. It's been exciting times as we take a break, come back. Shane comes back. We talk German football on the other side of this. Welcome back to GameON. Time now to switch focus and congratulate the German champions in Bayern Munich history. We'll argue possibly the greatest club to come out of Germany, but they keep setting the standard even when they've got an enemy like Leverkusen who comes second, setting records, which must really hurt.
Yeah, must hurt them, setting the record 33 games unbeaten away from home. But just couldn't get that extra go, to get across the line again. For Bayern, history again. I mean, what a team. Couple of things there. Yeah. Harry Kane, in his whole career, it's his first league trophy he's won in his whole career. And I mean, he is recognized as one of the best strikers around. So for him, he had to go to Germany to get a league trophy, Liverpool and other teams were too strong for him, so he had to go to Bayern. But congratulations to them. They deserve it. They were consistent. Yeah, they got a couple of results, a couple of draws, but were consistent throughout the year.
Well, you mentioned Harry Kane. Others would also look at Vincent Kompany. Still very young from a coaching point of view, but your thoughts on he's taking over at Bayern and giving them the championship, considering how well Leverkusen were doing with their coach?
Well, whoever chose him as the manager, if you think
where
he came from, I mean, he had just been with a team that got relegated to come in and take over the champions. It just showed. But you know what it is? It's about the class. It's about the way he's learned. It's about who he's learned from. If you look, he's learned from some of the best managers around. So I'm not surprised at that. I really am not.
How much does the German game need, Alonso, to stay? And compete.
But they need it because you needed to compete. You don't want to have a one league team every year, because then it becomes boring. They need him to stay, but whether he's going to, I'm not sure about that.
Well, there's huge rumors about football out in Spain, quite possibly being out for his services. Let's talk about now the bottom of the table. Position 16, of course, is the playoff position, but a good number of clubs could still be in the running where this is concerned.
But if you look at it, and this just shows you how competitive this league is, anything from 13 down can still go down, can still be involved in the playoffs. So it's everything to play for in the last few games of the season. It's not that it's done and dusted, let's move on. Everything to play for. And it's going to go down to the wire again, to the last game.
Football in general, the fact that we do have the championship, we do have European or African places, including now the playoffs, has it added to the drama at the end of the season for just the fans, in that there's no team that gets to coast now. At the end of the season, you're always playing for something or to get away from something.
Exactly, and that's what makes it better. When a league is so one-sided like it is here, where everything is just, who's going to win the league, who's going to come second, it makes it a big difference when you've got something to fight for. And I love that. I love it going down to the wire where the game goes to the last game and anything can happen in that last game. It's such pressure, but it's enjoyable pressure.
German football, its contribution to the game. We know as an international representative, they've done well over the years, but German football in the whole, when you think German football, the league football, the quality, the players they have there, Champions League and as internationals?
Just haven't kicked on in the Champions League over the last few years, and that's been a big worry for me, is that they haven't got to there. But, you're always going to have a strong German team. no matter what you look, whatever tournament you come to, they always seem to pull it out, be there. You know, it's vital in Europe. Obviously, the Germans are vital in Europe, and the football only gets better and better each year.
Well, Bayern Munich, keep getting better and better, and so does German football. So we take our hats off to the current German champions and switch focus now. And in closing out the show, time to focus on Disky football, as Hollywoodbets always does. The Disky 99 Championships was held out at the Duduza soccer fields. Let's find out more about that, Shane.
Gauteng is full of iconic and legendary football tournaments, but there's a new one that is taking the province by storm, and rightly so, because it's the breeding ground for the stars of tomorrow. But unlike others that mainly take place over the Easter holidays, this one wanted its own freedom, and with the backing of Hollywoodbets, that was possible.
This idea of the tournament came about because we've noticed that everyone is doing a tournament during the Easter holidays. So we wanted to be unique and different to others. So we put our proposal to Hollywoodbets, proposing this long weekend of Freedom Day that we should do a top 8 tournament during where everyone is done doing his own tournament. So the idea started there to avoid clash with other tournaments. As Disky 99, we are happy to work with Hollywood, because we started working with Hollywood in December, but it was just a small thing. But now we are happy because everything here is done by Hollywood as the main sponsor.
Football can be a vehicle for change, for administrators and for players. It's the latter, however, that is a major focus. And with our nation facing so many challenges for young people, tournaments like this give youth a chance.
The youngsters will be scouted because their scouts here will always come and scout for APC Municipal League and NFT specifically. So it's an opportunity for these young boys.
We're looking to give the youngsters an opportunity to showcase their talent. That's the most very important thing, because the markers in most times you don't get these opportunities. So much of them opportunities, so that's when these young boys, they can be able to do what? To give their best and show talent level. Maybe they can get these partners in there.
There were 8 teams who came to conquer the Disky 99 Championship, but only one could win. The final was contested by Bayern FC and Wattville United, and they served up a sensational encounter. There could only be one winner though, and after the contest finished 2-2, penalties were used to separate the teams, and it was Bayern who came out on top.
It was fun and excited because we get to test ourselves. We've been wanting this challenge. We always want to play against big teams, so we can show that we're also a big team. I'm more than happy for to the credit is for the players and our supporters, but I give the credit to the players. They did so well in Pechu. They deserve this in Pechu. So we'll make a cool out here.
I feel great. I feel very, very great. I'm very happy for everyone that played. I'm sorry to the guys that lost, but yeah. We had to be here. We fought and we brought game.
We must expect a big tournament this coming December in 2025 festive games, Disky 99. I promise that they will be big. The games will be bigger than last year, of course, because there's Hollywood on board.